What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be breaking down 5 simple tips that help me improve my designs and just make my overall design process 10 times easier. These are some of the things that I use pretty much every time that I'm designing. So whether you're just getting started or you've been designing for a minute, hopefully there's some things in here that you can take and implement into your own creative process. And with that being said, let's jump right into the first tip. First one, and probably one of the easiest ways to make a design feel more finished, is adding in some texture. Okay, so now here we are on our canvas and I have a Florida Phoenix graphic pulled up. This is a design we made a few videos. I'll be sure to link this one in the description below. But for today's purpose, we're going to be adding in some texture to this design. So the first thing that we need to do is, of course, drop in some texture. And to do that, we want to go up here to our actions menu, and then we're going to insert a file. And here I have pulled up my texture pack assets. I'll be sure to link this in the description below as well if you guys want to use these same textures as me. If not, you can also create your own textures or find textures off of Google or anything like that. But in this pack, I have some of my favorite textures that I always gravitate. First one, my favorite texture by far, is always going to be this worn plastisol 1 brush. And the reason that this is my favorite brush, this worn plastisol really kind of gives that vintage t-shirt effect. And that's exactly what I'm going for when it comes to creating designs like this. And there's a lot of different ways we can kind of play around with the texture, but as soon as we place it down, we also want to go ahead and clip it down to our main design, so it's only attached to our design and it's not just kind of floating in our background. But the cool thing with these textures also is that you can duplicate them, you can kind of rotate and move them around and get some different effects and variations going. You don't have to just leave it the basic import, drop, run with it. You can really play around with it. You can also get some different colors and just different effects going with a lot of these different textures. But like I said, this worn plastisol brush is by far one of my favorite brushes when it comes to adding in those vintage college tees and sweatshirts are some of my favorite designs. So it's only right that this worn plastisol is one of my favorite texture brushes. But also, like I said, there's plenty of other textures to go through. Another one of my favorite brushes is going to be the halftone brushes. So here we have the halftone 1 brush, and this is just like a nice halftone to kind of get some nice variation, nice gradient going. And also what I like to do with this one is make it a little bit smaller, and we can really see that effect showing up here versus on the rest of the word. So I'll kind of go half. But yeah, so that just gets a really nice effect on our design, and it also just adds a lot of intentionality to our designs, which just makes everything look a lot more professional in the end. For our next tip, we're going to be talking about customizing your assets. This is one of the easiest ways to make your design feel a little bit more unique instead of just dropping an asset down and calling it a day. So now in this next step, we're going to be talking about customizing and really personalizing those assets that you drag in and drop into your designs. So here, of course, we're looking at a completed design. This is a flaming 8-ball design. It kind of has this nice kind of graffiti spray texture on it, and I actually did a full breakdown where I designed this from start to finish. I'll make sure to link that as well so you guys can kind of follow along with that if you're interested. But all of this that you see here started from 2 simple basic assets from my asset pack, and those 2 assets were, 1, this 8-ball, just this blank plain 8-ball, nothing crazy, nothing special at all, and this flaming ring graphic here. And I just used these 2 assets to build up that flaming 8-ball graphic that you guys saw just a second ago. And I'll kind of go through the layers really quick. Like I said, if you guys want to see the full breakdown, I have just the video for you guys. I'll link that in the description. But it all started out here. We overlapped our 8-ball and our flame. And the next thing that I wanted to add in was, of course, going to be some flaming color. So we added a nice red to yellow gradient here with a couple of the spray brushes from Procreate. And then I added in some highlights to our flames, and our 8-ball was lacking a little bit here. So of course, what I wanted to do is add in some details to that. So I threw in some nice kind of blue hues and some highlights on that 8-ball just to kind of really make it pop up off our screen and just be really creative with it as well. I also added a little bit of texture to our actual 8 just to completely blend in our entire design. And that's just a good example of how we can use our assets to our maximum potential and not just leave them at that basic kind of black and white boring state, if you will. You know, there's a lot of places that you can take these graphics, and that's why it's so important to be creative with the things in the first place. But yeah, that's just a quick breakdown of how important it is and how much you can get from actually customizing your assets and taking some time with them and really being creative as well. So again, everything that you see here started from just a plain 8-ball and a plain flame ring. These assets did come from my asset pack, and with a bunch of more assets like this that can be used to combo and design on top of, but that's really up to you and your creativity. But this is just a great example of how creative your assets can actually get. For number 3, this one is super simple, but if you use it right, you can completely change the depth of any graphic that you ever create. So here we are looking at a bomber jacket mockup that I designed, and the design is looking pretty good, but it's still feeling very flat, and the best way to solve this is by adding in some depth. And there's 2 main ways to add in depth to any of our mockups, and that's going to be 1, shadows, and 2, highlights. So in order to add in some shadows, I have a layer here set to clipping mask, and it is called shadows. And then we want to go to any kind of round brush, so we can go to our airbrushing section from Procreate, and let's just use this top soft brush here, and we're set to clipping mask. And let's also make sure that our drawing assist is on as well. So we should be pretty centered, and with the drawing assist and clipping mask on, are going to do for us is that anything that we do to one side, as long as our design is centered, it'll copy over to the other side, which is going to be very helpful, like I said, for adding in these shadows and highlights. So I'm going to drop our opacity down to about 70. So in order to add in our shadows, what we want to do is, we see this black line that our mockup naturally creates, and we're just going to start following along that black line and very lightly kind of shading in all around this outline, almost like a coloring book. So that's kind of the way that we're going to be looking at this, is like we're kind of coloring in the outer ring of a coloring book to add in some nice shading and shadows to our design. And that's going to be giving us that depth that this design so desperately needs, that it looks like it's missing for sure. One of my favorite things to do is add in these shadows. I feel like it just adds so much to any piece. No matter what the design is, your design can always use some shadows. It's something that I've learned and picked up during my years of designing. And now we can turn these shadows down a little bit more. And again, I'm just going around on all these kind of edges, creating a nice subtle little shadow line. Okay, and make sure we do the same thing on these pockets as well, and that should leave us with something like this. So we went from no shadows to shadows, and now we're going to add in our highlights. So that's going to be copying the same steps: clipping mask on, drawing assist on, rename, and let's call this our highlights. So if our shadows are black, we want our highlights to be white. So using that same exact brush, the soft brush, as we see, we created like this little ring of shadows. So we want our highlights to be going in this area. So that area in between our shadows, if our shadows are a border, we want to make sure that our highlights kind of sit in this middle area here. We can turn our opacity down on this some. And then lastly, with these highlights, one more thing that I like to do is, now with a hard edge, now we're just going to go around and follow this line completely all the way around, just to get a nice hard edge on our design. And this is going to act as kind of like a rim light. If you've ever seen like product photography or any kind of photography in general, there's usually going to be a nice soft light kind of hitting the subject, and that's what this is kind of creating here, which again just amplifies that depth that we're trying to create here with these mockups. Okay, so now looking back at where we started versus with our shadows and highlights, it's really night and day. We can see so much more depth and texture, and it looks a lot more realistic, which I think helps a lot to kind of envision these pieces in a real life context once they have these shadows and highlights, versus just kind of getting the idea down, which is always nice. But just remember that you can always take it a step further with adding in some shadows and highlights. For number 4, don't wait until your graphic is completely finished to put it on a mockup. Okay, so for this tip, this is going to be really quick, but this is just something to keep in mind when you're designing. And that's when you're creating any kind of design. So this was a Supply 67.5 FM kind of radio station graphic that I created, and I wasn't really sure where I wanted this design to go. So what I did is I quickly designed a t-shirt, a hat, and some sweatpants. And even before the design itself was done, I threw it on each of these different mock-ups just to kind of see where I liked it the best and where I saw it best fitting in. I knew I was going to definitely end up using this design for something, but I wasn't sure exactly where it should go. And that's just that little experimentation you do as a designer when it comes to designing anything and being creative. You just want to explore all of your options, and I feel like this is the best way to kind of go about it. As you see, they're each slightly different colors, so I was just kind of playing around with some different options before anything was finalized. So none of these are the complete design. These aren't even the final colors. These are just, of course, black and white, but I knew if it looks good on black and white, I can definitely be able to take it and spin it in a couple of different ways as well. So this is just getting it down on kind of a base layer that's still a little bit designed, but not completely done. So just forcing myself to experiment and really push myself and see where I can take things It's something that I would definitely implement in your own workflows. For me, it's been very helpful, especially when coming up with these creative design concepts, just to be able to see it in a multitude of places. But yeah, I definitely recommend you implement that as well in your design processes and your workflows. And for this last one, it isn't necessarily a design trick, but it's probably one of the biggest things that's helped me design faster and more efficiently. And that is building up a solid library of resources that you know that you can always come back to. You can help elevate your creativity today with the supply pack bundle. Take those boring flat designs into masterpieces with textures, brushes, pre-made assets, and more. You use Procreate, Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Photoshop, or any of these design platforms. Here's a pack with over 500 assets to meet any of your design needs. From posters to clothing design and even websites, the supply pack bundle has a bunch of tools for whatever creative projects you may be working on with just a one-time payment, no subscription needed. It also includes a 5-part mini course where I go deeper into my personal creative process, complete with helpful worksheets to get you started on your next project. And yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. Hopefully these tips give you a few things that you start applying to your own designs and process. Like I mentioned, the Creative Crash Course bundle is 50% off right now for the summer sale. So if you wanna check that out, it is linked in the description below. And that's all the mockups that I use, all the textures, brushes, anything that you see me using from any of the videos are going to be featured in this pack here. As always, I really appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed or learned something in this video. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.